Queridos amigos,
dear friends, I would like to start my intervention by thanking the organizers of the Congress, of the EPP. I would also like to thank all those who are working every day for the EPP to defend our values and to turn the European Union a space of solidarity and of commitment for the European citizens. I would also like to thank all those friends who are present with us today. Our President, Wilfried Martens, but also the President Basescu, our host, the Prime Ministers, the heads of states and governments in our beautiful family of the EPP. And I would like also to thank all the delegates who take part in a very important Congress that will renew our values and our commitments. These values are the values that created the European Union, and they must be a source of inspiration for us. How to develop a European Union for peace and stability and well-being. Dear friends, for the Partido Popular of Spain, I take great pride in belonging to this great family, which is the EPP. Within the Parti Popular Español, Spanish Party Popular, we've always been in favor of a Europe of more solidarity. We think that it is the only way to guarantee the well-being and collective prosperity of our nations and of our populations. So what I say is an appeal for more Europe. We need more Europe today, even more than in the past, if we want to recover from the very serious crisis. In the framework of this European project, we must learn an important lesson. Indeed, our achievements always needed more integration. Our fortress cannot separate us from the others. Unity is important in this will to stand all together and challenge the current crisis. Dear friends, I would like to share with you some thoughts. The European Union is in a turmoil, threatening our political, social, and economic achievements, the achievements of the last 60 years. Back in time, it was not easy for the founding fathers of the European Union to draw a distinction between all these elements. But thanks to their generosity, they were able to promote the solidarity that we needed to develop one of the most stable societies in the world. And today, in times of crisis, we must show that this value is still the engine of our success. In our various commitments, throughout our various commitments, we must understand that efforts are needed, efforts to recover from this unprecedented crisis. And I'm sure that we will live up to this challenge. Dear friends, today the economic crisis is such that we have to reaffirm our commitment in favor of Europe, in favor of its citizens. And in this framework, what the EPP is doing is quite important. And in Spain, it is also the case. Since my election, we did reaffirm the past commitments, because it's quite important to do what is needed to guarantee our future growth. And we know that our success will also depend, the success of the European Union also depends upon the success of each member state. So we are taking very important measures to reduce the public spendings. We are taking very brave reforms to modernize our economy. And we are doing that as quickly as we can in the framework of a very difficult economic environment, as you all know. And the European institutions were our partners in this process, as well as the international partners. And I would like to underline the fact that we will continue on this path. We will live up to our responsibilities, and as a party, we will have to take all these reforms. On top of that, I would like to add that there are a lot of member states which are doing the same, making huge efforts, and without a concerted action within the European Union, there will be no success. I do believe that today the European Union had to take very important decisions since the start of the crisis at the last Council in June, considering that we had to do our best to save the stability of the euro and to save Europe. We said loud and clear that we wanted more Europe, and this is today's motto, more Europe. And we took 3 very important decisions at the Council in June. We decided that the fiscal consolidation is much needed. It must be adapted to the different national circumstances, of course, and it must be supported by EU measures to guarantee growth and job creation. And this is basic. This is a fundamental objective if we want to avoid failures. And we also decided to launch the banking union and to develop a single supervision mechanism. It was decided to do that as quickly as possible. An agreement should be reached before the end of the year. Indeed, it is a fundamental objective, and we cannot accept a situation in which the banking sector remains fragmented. And we also decided to guarantee the future of the monetary and economic union so that it can live up to the challenges of the European Union. We want to promote a better fiscal and economic integration. So this process will be turned into reality only if we set very concrete objectives and a clear framework. Dear friends, this is the agreement signed at the last June Council, and this will have to be done as quickly as possible so that in the midterm, the European Union can at last experience recovery and recover from the crisis. And this is something that we all call for.
Cualquier señal de debilidad.
Any signs of weakness, divisions or doubts regarding these objectives will jeopardize not only our credibility, but they will also undermine our stability. And that's what we've already noticed when we met at the European Council in June. At the time, we knew that it was a difficult period, and so we highlighted integration at all levels. I hope that the compromise to be weakened. We need to be able to rise up to meet these events. Within the European People's Party, we need to be able to persevere and become at the forefront, driving this process in our nation states, because that is what's important. I hope that you will continue to defend the values of the Union, which we defend, because we have a program for the future and we have no doubt that we will carry out these actions. Dear friends, 55 years ago, the Treaty of Rome was signed. And if we compare what happened after the Rome Treaty and look at how we have developed up to today, if we look at 55 years before the Rome Treaty was signed in comparison, we now have this coherent slogan of more Europe. Some Europeans want to leave aside this program for more Europe, but this is not in agreement with the decisions that have been made. We are a serious, trustworthy political family. Our actions are also predictable. We can't allow ourselves to be undermined, because It will also undermine the credibility of the European Union and our credibility in the eyes of our citizens. We need to demonstrate solidarity between all of the states of the Union. We need unity between all of the members, and each of the members of the European Union needs to keep their responsibilities. Here at the Congress, we would also like to say that we assume our responsibilities. Dear friends, millions of Europeans are expecting us to speak with one voice. They are expecting us to speak with one voice, not 17 or 27